I'm overwhelmed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Daniel, if I could only speak, which is with as much fire and passion as you can. But believe me, in my heart, I share those same passions as you do. Grateful for the recognition of Heritage. I do want to introduce some of our top people. Niall Gardner, who you know is here tonight, who heads our Margaret Thatcher Center and keeps not only us, but Congress and much of the country focused on the importance of the relationship with the UK and all of our European allies. Niall, and also Ted Broman, who is here, part of the center, a great analyst, researcher for us. My chief of staff, Cameron Seward, who is here with me, and my wife, Debbie, is here with me tonight too. So thank you for this wonderful honor, and thank all of you. I know most of you, if not all of you, in the room are involved in public service in one way or another. We've chosen a very difficult career path. And for the spouses of those who have chosen that difficult career path, I know, and I'm reminded by Debbie regularly, that it's even more difficult often to be a spouse of someone who's chosen to be in public life. So thank you very much for your service. This is a great honor. It's twice the honor for me that I am the first recipient, and it hopefully will become a legacy here of the Alliance of pointing out those who are willing to take a stand, as all of you are doing. And I know the being conservative, being focused on reform, particularly with all the issues across the European Union, requires a lot of courage. So there are probably a lot of you in the room who should be getting the award rather than me. But though we have many representatives from nations throughout Europe, I would like to begin tonight by thanking our English host and congratulating them on the recent events. I was telling Daniel at our table, American conservatives are certainly encouraged as they look at what happened here, what happened in Finland, what's happening around the world, as people seem to be waking up to the idea that big centralized government is not solving our problems. It's making it much, much worse. A great English thinker, G.K. Chesterton, said he had discovered the favorite game of the human race. He described the game, and I'm quoting, as keep tomorrow dark, which is also named cheat the prophet. The players listen very carefully and respectfully to all that the clever men have to say about what is to happen in the next generation. The players then wait until all the clever men are dead and they bury them nicely. Then they go and do something else. That's all. For a race of simple taste, however, it is great fun. End quote. Well, as they proved 2 weeks ago, much to the embarrassment of the clever men, Britons have not tired of this game yet, and we are very grateful that you haven't. As one myself who has made many enemies in Washington by proving wrong some of America's self-styled, clever political men and women, I salute my British and European colleagues here tonight for standing together against those who are leading the march toward centralized power. It has been noted by this alliance that there is a deficit of democracy within the European Union. I would hasten to add that the same is increasingly true in the United States. Too often, a deficit of democracy goes hand in hand with a surplus of bureaucracy. Sometimes our national leaders forget that oppression doesn't always look like George Orwell's 1984. In the real world, it often looks more like Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Orwell's prediction of rat cages and thought control have been replaced by something akin to Gilliam's absurdist nightmare of red tape, bureaucracy, and mediocrity. The European Union was founded with a noble goal: to ensure peace, freedom, friendship, and shared prosperity between the inhabitants of the continent and their neighbors. The same sentiments were expressed in similar words in the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. I'm sure there's no one here today who wishes anything less for the people of Europe or America. But when an alliance of such noble goals is used by zealots to impose policies abhorrent to a diverse citizenry, it becomes a source of tyranny, division, and oppression. We can all live in peace and harmony with neighbors who have very different beliefs and lifestyles, unless that neighbor uses the power of a distant government to force us to conform to his beliefs and lifestyles. When the hopes, dreams, and goals of individual members are superseded by a central power, that power subverts the very freedom it was founded to protect. And if this alliance is used by irresponsible, corrupt, bankrupt members to leech away hard-earned wealth from the more responsible and prosperous members, it's time for conservatives and reformists to stand together for individual liberty, national sovereignty, parliamentary democracy, the rule of law, private property, low taxes, sound money, free trade, open competition, and most importantly, the devolution of power. I'm sure those ideas sound familiar. There are those in Brussels who say you may keep your traditions in your civil society as long as they are limited to trademarking a Stilton cheese. Actually, now even that is fraught with complications. But heaven forbid that you should object to settling thousands of new people in your country, even if some of them despise everything your country stands for. Heaven forbid you object to making your currency and markets subject to the actions of foreign bankers in failing states. Perhaps worst of all, when nations allow political and economic power to concentrate away from the smaller actors in society, it breeds resentment instead of promoting unity. Edmund Burke, in whose spirit we gather here, recognized the importance of subsidiarity to national and international harmony. He wrote, "To be attached to the subdivision, to love the little platoon we belong to in society, is the first principle, the germ, as it were, of public affection. It is the first link in a series by which we proceed towards a love to country and to mankind." Burke's little platoons were the inspiration of my recent book, Falling in Love with America Again. The main theme was that America and all free countries can only be built from the ground up by millions of people making their own decisions about what they value and how they want to live their lives. This is the only way a diverse people can live together in harmony. An overbearing central government makes it difficult for the little platoons of individuals, families, communities, churches, voluntary organizations to create the opportunities that freedom provides its citizens. No top-down control can force goodwill, but it is very likely to destroy it. True patriotism and brotherhood flourishes when men and women are allowed to be masters of their own spheres. It is a cruel irony that any authority, with the pretense of celebrating diverse cultures, demands that they all fit the same mold. I have been saddened to see this trend in the United States. Americans live under an administration that runs roughshod over their rights and traditions and accuses those who stand against it of being bigots or clinging bitterly to their guns and religion. Two things I might add that our Constitution gave us every encouragement to cling, so that a demagogue could not take more power for himself. Far from being unified, top-down policies have divided my countrymen further than ever, whether by race, riches, or faith. But there are many who are fighting back, who are rebuilding the little platoons across America in their communities, their churches, local governments, and at the state level, working towards prosperity, self-sufficiency, and independence. They do not hate their country because of those in power. They love her despite those in power. And let there be no mistake, critics of the European Union do not disdain their fellow Europeans. On the contrary, they love their neighbors enough to let them manage their own business without interference. They understand that there is more power and freedom in independent nations living together in harmony than many nations losing their identity by dissolving into a conglomerate. To separate citizens from the institutions which have power over them, to give people at arm's length, or to keep people at arm's length from self-determination is not merely impractical, it's immoral. As is elegantly stated by the Reykjavik Declaration, your alliance exists to defend against such things. And therefore your mission is more than political. It is a moral obligation and a righteous cause. And though the Heritage Foundation lies on a different shore, we fight in common cause with all of you here tonight. I will do my best to be worthy of this award in the years ahead, so that a future freely chosen, I want to get this right since it's my last line here, a future freely chosen may find all our nations thriving in liberty, prosperity, and friendship. Again, I'm so grateful for this honor, for your service, the friendship to America, to the Heritage Foundation, and to us in particular tonight. Thank you for what you do.